Yeah, hello everyone. Welcome to session 8 in our tempo build set. Our tempo build ramp, our tempo build progression. Starting off with our customary walk before we start the workout. Just walk you through what we've got for today's session. So I'm really interested in this session. I'm very interested to see how well you guys execute this one. Because on paper it actually looks relatively easy. You may not agree. But basically what we've got in this session is a tempo ramp down. So basically what that means is quite long tempo efforts, decreasing in duration. So starting off with 12 minutes, 9 minutes, 6 minutes, with 2 minutes of walking recovery in between. And these efforts are all at a 6 out of 10, all at half marathon pace. And I'm really intrigued to see how well you execute it, because I'd be putting money on some of you guys not being able to handle the easier nature of the session. Now, it's actually still a relatively high cumulative load because as a whole, the conditioning set is quite long. You know, it's quite a little bit of a longer session, but the intensity of it is lower. And I just, particularly after last session, which was a bit of a smash fest, just really interested to see how you handle just staying consistent and steady at a lower intensity, and whether you can handle that. I will talk a little bit more about that in a second. But in the discussion, we're just going to be talking a little bit about the importance of running on different surfaces. It's more interesting than it sounds. But let's get the workout started, shall we? Okay, so you know the drill by now. I'm just going to start off building through kind of zone 1, zone 2, whatever labels you want to put on it. But just steadily building the effort. Just starting off first by getting into a little bit of a jog, very much like a 2 out of 10 effort. It's getting the blood going, getting the breathing rate going. It's very cold here today, so it'll take me a little while to get going. I'm trying not to visibly shiver, but that's just, if I wasn't recording this session, I would be wearing a lot more clothing, let's put it that way. So the session, normal 10-minute warm-up, little pause, go do some dynamics, another 3 minutes of easy running, then we get straight into the conditioning, which is starting off 12 minutes, 6 out of 10 at half marathon pace, 2 minutes recovery, then 9 minutes at half marathon, 2 minutes recovery, and then 6 minutes. And as I say, I'm really interested to see if you guys can handle an easier session and not getting to the end of the session and feeling completely wrecked. And it's because, this is meant to be a progressive build. That doesn't mean that we want you looking at each session, looking at the session each week and being terrified, or dreading it. That isn't how training works. That isn't how a progression works. Not every single session to strike the fear of God in you. Okay, so we're up to like a 3 out of 10 effort now. Okay, so just building it slightly. And I think, particularly less experienced athletes, something to really get their head around is that the sense that if you're doing a high intensity session, it can be really tough. And actually, your high intensity work shouldn't be entirely focused on conditioning. There should be other elements to it. Pacing work, hill work. Every session should have a particular purpose, and hopefully the purpose of each of these sessions has been made pretty clear. This week it's on pacing again, and I want you to compare how you can pace these half marathon sets against previous half marathon sets after the session, that is. Okay, so yeah, just really intrigued to how you perform. So let's just get onto our little chat then about running on different surfaces. Basically, as I've said on other occasions, we're not built to run on perfectly flat, hard surfaces, like asphalt, like pavements, etc. Okay, our physiology is designed for us to run on soft rolling ground. Okay, you imagine that's back at Neanderthal times. There wasn't pavements; it was just grass, or at least in the UK it was just grass and muddy rolling terrain, pretty soft. And so our bodies are designed biomechanically to deal with those conditions, dissipating forces through rolling motions through the joints, lateral dissipation of forces, etc. And so, yeah, you have to be mindful of that when you're training. For instance, running on a treadmill, I said before, biomechanically it's not the same, taking away the fact that you're on a moving belt, but it is literally, could not be more perfectly flat. And so it's not really what we're designed for. Obviously, this also means different types of footwear maybe. That's a conversation for another time. It's just really important that you mix up the types of surfaces. And by types of surfaces I mean hard ground, soft ground, basically. Running off-road, for example, will help you develop ankle and hip stability, and it will also help improve your ability to pace according to perceived effort. It's always well and good having our watches, having pacing zones, etc. But sometimes that stuff goes out the window, and you need to be able to fall back and say, right, how do I feel? And running off-road, pacing's so largely useless because, particularly in this country, you're totally reliant on whether it's rained or not, whether it's windy, what the surface is like. Is it rocky, muddy? Is it frozen as it is at the moment? Running off-road, there are tons of benefits to it, and I really recommend, particularly for high intensity work, doing that on softer ground, just to mitigate some of the impact. So either if you live in a city or something, running on a turf park track, there's always a little park next to the actual pavement in the park where you see people running, doing your high intensity efforts on that rather than actually on the pavement, rather than on the tarmac or the asphalt. Okay, or if you're lucky enough to live or work near a proper running track, doing high intensity work on a running track. And then if we flip it around, say for instance, take myself for example, I do pretty much the vast majority of my running off-road. We've got great trails around here. I know them all like the back of my hand. Absolutely love it. But most of my racing is on road, and so I need to make sure that I gather plenty of experience and time running on road in the lead up to big races. So just FYI, just increase the effort a little bit. It's going to sort of like a 3.5 out of 10. Yeah, so I have to make sure. So I've got half marathon in March. I've just started getting out and doing more and more road running, and particularly making sure I get in downhill running on the road, because it's that really high impact downhill running which gets you if you're not used to it. I remember doing a half marathon years ago, and I didn't do that, and my calves were shredded. So it's a very hilly course, and I was fine otherwise. I was going really well. There's one really long descent and quite gradual, so you could hold quite a high, comfortable pace. And by the end of it, I was hobbling. It's horrible, and it's all because I wasn't used to being on road. Though I definitely wasn't used to fast descents, because I'm used to off-road. They're usually winding, you know, you're sort of hopping from one side to the other, and it's just not the same level of consistent impact. So it doesn't matter which side of it you're coming from, predominantly on road, predominantly off road, you're gonna mix it up. Otherwise, you're detrimental. And then likewise, I'm really enjoying doing a lot of treadmill running at the moment, doing structured workouts like this, because similar to a turbo trainer for the bike, I can hold a consistent effort, and I'm enjoying that. It means you can get some really high quality work in, but I'm soon going to have to change that, because I've got this half marathon coming up. As we go up to a 4 out of 10 now, just for the last minute. Yeah, I'm going to have to start doing more conditioning work out on the road, on the pavement, so that I can do high intensity efforts without disintegrating, you know. Another really common one is IT band syndrome, iliotibial band syndrome, and that's an impact thing. So I don't want to get that, so I'm going to have to start to build in more road work. Hopefully I made the point. Anyway, last 30 seconds of just cruising before we pause to get some looseners in, and then we'll get back to it. So nice and relaxed, shoulders down, chin up, relax the hands, chest forwards. A little bit of a knee drive going on. Ready? And relax. Okay, just going to pause the workout, and then we're going to move over onto the mats. Okay. Get across. Oh, I knocked the camera, didn't I? I knew I was going to do that. My big bum hit it as I was going through. There we go. Actually, I have a tiny little bum. It's a source of real insecurity and a reason why my hamstrings keep exploding. Anyway, what we're doing, warm up. Okay, so we're just going to start off with some lunges with a twist, okay? So you're just going to go into deep lunge, and then you're going to twist both sides, right? And power back up onto the other leg, twist both sides. Just getting some thoracic spinal rotation involved. So lunge, twist. So that's 3 for me. We're going to 10 total. 5. 6. Just going a little bit further with your twist each time. 7 for me. Try and go nice and low with the lunge, taking a nice long step. Okay, one more, I think. Totally lost track. Okay, good stuff. And taking the feet about as wide as you can, toes pointing out, just into a sort of sumo squat. Pivot at the hips, and just throwing your hands across and going to a deep side lunge, just feeling it either side here, just loosening off. Doing 10 in total again, 5 to each side. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then it's coming up. And then we're just going to do some single leg hops. So put your weight onto one foot, and then that's it. Basically just hopping. So you're just going to do about 10 to 15 on each side. Let's do that 15 for me, and then onto the other foot. So transfer your weight up onto your toes, then hop, staying up on your toes the entire time. I think that's 15. And then our trusty customary leg swings. Forward and back to start off with. A little higher with each one. The other side. Seeing off the hamstrings and the hip flexors. And then across the body. You guys know the drill. Why not? Hopefully you incorporated this into your own training outside of these sessions. If not, I really recommend starting to do so. It does just make the rest of your run, even if it's a long steady state run, just that little bit more enjoyable. You're just a bit looser, just a bit happier with life. Okay, and then arm swings going forwards, drawing them in close to your ears. And backwards. Across the chest. Okay, nice and quick set of dynamics because we've got quite a long set today. So moving back onto treadmill for me, wherever it is you're doing your session. Okay, and then we're going to start the workout again, just building back up to a 4 out of 10, back to where we were. Okay, right, so we've had our chat about the different running on different surfaces. If you're struggling with any of that, then just give me a shout and we can try and figure out kind of what might work best for you. Okay, now there, let's just get focused on what we've got ahead of us. 12, 9 and 6 minutes at half marathon pace, 6 out of 10 effort. Now, what you're going to find is I'm going to try not to be too annoying. Okay, so I'm not going to be yabbering away all through the 12 minutes, okay? I'm going to do my best to help kind of keep you focused and on track. But if I'm quiet for a while, don't panic. Nothing's happened to me. But when you've got long, steady state efforts, I find anyway. So for instance, doing long, on the turbo, I've got like 10-minute threshold effort or something. The idea of having someone yabbering away at me all the time while I'm trying to just focus and get it done sounds annoying. So I'll try not to be that guy. And I'll just try and remind you to relax and keep you motivated. So we're at 4 out of 10 now. Nice and easy. So these efforts, you've got to be really true to yourself. Not get carried away. Not get sort of frustrated that you're not working hard enough. You're working too easy. Find a nice strong effort and then stay there. Okay? So get your composure, get your chin up, shoulders down, relax the hands, get the knee drive going, pump those knees, and let's get ready for some strong but not hard work. So with running, find with athletes there's always a desired emphasis on hard work. But for triathletes, they understand it on the cycling at different training zones. That's much less well understood in running. So here we go. Just building up to it slowly. Just building up to a 6 out of 10. You don't have to be there straight away. Take your time. You have a look at your heart rate. Hopefully by now you have a rough gauge of where your heart rate should be at the different efforts. You know, we're over 7 sessions in now. If you don't have a handle on that stuff, this is just your reminder after this session to start to look at that sort of thing. Okay? A little bit of homework. What's my heart rate been at different types of efforts? You should be sub-threshold, sub 5k heart rate the entire way through this session, okay? So for most people that's going to be in maybe 130s, 140s, the whole session. Heart rate, beats per minute that was. So 130, 140 beats per minute. Might be higher for you if you have a naturally higher heart rate. But just a general rule. The other thing with long steady-state efforts like this, it's easy to lose focus. So, it's 12 minutes, let's break it up. 4 3-minute segments. So, we're into the final minute of the first 3-minute segment. That's the first 3-minute segment down. Okay, so let's just do a check over. How are we feeling? Effort out of 10 should be a 6. Should be sub-threshold on the heart rate. Should be running strong with purpose and power, but we shouldn't be working hard. A little reminder to relax. So shoulders down, chin is up, hands are loose, knees are driving. Already, you might be thinking, oh, it's too easy, it's too easy. Hopefully not, hopefully you're relaxed, hopefully your mind is calm, you're focused, and you're just hitting that pacing perfectly. One minute left of the second 3-minute sector. Good. That's the second 3-minute sector down. Into the third now. So go through your checks. What's my effort like? 6 out of 10. Where's my heart rate? Should be sub threshold. Should be sub 5k type heart rate. Now check down your body. Chin up. Shoulders down. Hands relaxed. Knees driving. Chest forwards. Well done. Well over halfway through this first interval. Just 5 minutes of strong work left. Done, guys. Stay focused. 1 minute left of this 3-minute sector, and then we're into the final 3 minutes. Here we are into the last 3 minutes. Final checks, final time to relax. Tell yourself to relax. If you struggle with that, just keep saying the word in your head. So the shoulders down, chin up. Let's finish this off now. Stay consistent. Oh, that's a big balance one. Last 2 minutes of strong work. Get the pace steady. So increase the effort just because we're getting towards the end of the interval. Last 9 seconds. Final 60. Then we get a couple of minutes of rest. .45. That's 30. You're going all the way to the end. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And relax. Well done, guys. That's the longest one done. It gets, well, not easier, but shorter from here. So, on a session like this, because it's sub-threshold, hopefully you're able to better get fluids on board. So now you know what you're dealing with. There's 2 more intervals left. Hopefully you're kind of getting it right now in terms of you don't have to suffer every single session. Some sessions should be harder than others, and it shouldn't be linear in terms of progression, because that's not how your body works. Every week you're not going to have more in the tank. Every week you're not going to be able to go that one step higher in intensity each time. It doesn't work like that. And training programs that do, you should be suspicious of. You gotta, ebb and flow. Overall, it should be progressive, but not every single week. And I think a big part of this build, this training, this tempo build is about teaching you these sorts of things and just sort of giving you the confidence to understand what it is you're doing and why, and just kind of giving yourself a bit of permission sometimes to not just thrash yourself to pieces. There's not always a benefit to that. Anyway, 20 seconds, then we pick up again, steadily working our way back up to a 6 out of 10. I really enjoy these types of sessions, not just because they're a little bit easier than 5k efforts, but you're still getting, I think the thing to understand is you're still getting a huge stimulus from this. It's just not that top end stimulus. Okay, I really would encourage you guys to see your training as like a cause and effect, stimulus and an output, stimulus and recovery. They have to, the equation has to balance. So steadily back up to a 6 out of 10. Get yourself up to speed, up to effort over the course of the first minute or so. Once you're there, start your checks, working your way down the body, tell yourself to relax. The whole relaxation thing, guys, unfortunately, it's not something you can just say in your head and, acquire a permanent state of being and permanently relax. Say it frequently, and I'm sorry if that's annoying, but I say it frequently because you will be getting tense. I saw it, I see it in the camera. Over the course of that last interval, steadily getting hunched up like this, having to bring my shoulders down, and particularly in the race, you're going to really need the presence of mind to say that to yourself in your head. Okay, so we're just trying to drill it into you, instill good habits. Get up into 3-minute segments again. Don't look too far ahead. Your heart rate should be starting to level out, staying sub-threshold at and around sort of heart rate you'd have during a half marathon, or at least for most of half marathon, the final third or whatever, you are just going for it. Okay, coming up towards the end of the first 3-minute segment. Here to go. Let's think about the next 3 minutes. Staying strong, staying relaxed. Keeping the pace and the effort steady. No medals. We're going too hard in this set. And guys, just keep that chin up. I keep catching myself with it down like that. Chin up. Don't compress those airways. Keep them nice and clear. Keep your gaze relaxed. With your chin up. One minute after this middle sector. And then we're into the last push. Not long to go, guys. You're doing an absolutely great job, guys. Not far off that final 3-minute segment now. Here we are then, 3 minutes to go. The final reminder, chin up, shoulders down, relax the hands, drive the knees. Racing the last 2 minutes. Keep it steady. Okay, 90 seconds then. Here we are, last minute. I'm reminded to relax. Stay focused for this last minute. And my recovery time. Keep the knees driving.
Yeah.
30 seconds.
This shit hot.
20. Last 10. 3, 2, and 1. Relax. Get the fluids on. And down to walking pace. So, hopefully, you're feeling good. You're feeling composed, feeling strong. You're not hanging out your ass. You know you're working, but you're not dying. That's hopefully where we should be. If, on the other hand, you've been very disciplined, you're being sensible, you're trying to do everything right, and you're still thinking, oh crap, this half marathon pace, you know, I've got to do this for hour and a half, 2 hours, however your level is. Don't worry. Okay, you've got to think about these sessions in the context of your wider training. You could be carrying fatigue. Equally, I often don't run well after a rest day. I often feel really sluggish after a rest day. So don't stress. And the final thing to bear in mind is that when you do come to that half marathon, or whatever distance race you're doing, probably will have tapered. And so you would have divested yourself of all that fatigue, fresh as a daisy, ready to kill it. So when you're doing race pace efforts, if they feel like, oh my god, I got to do this and then some, and you're anxious about it, don't worry about it, because the adrenaline of the day, the freshness, you know, you're going to be in a totally different place. Particularly pertinent for those guys doing ultra stuff like Ironman stuff. You know, you're doing your hard brick sessions on the day, it's a total different feeling, I promise you. Anyway, back up to a more the word I'm looking for, a more common feeling. It's not the word I'm looking for. Anyway, I'll just move on. Back up to a 6 out of 10 effort, just steadily building over the first minute. We've just got 6 minutes of strong work this time. We're on our way down the ramp. We're feeling good, hopefully. We're feeling strong, and we're just going to keep it steady. We're not going to do anything silly now. We're getting some really good quality tempo work under the belt, some longer intervals. We're going to finish the session feeling good, not wrecked, and then we're going to go about our day. No, that's a job well done. First minute down, relax. Getting a bit over excited here. Maybe running through the front of the treadmill. So 90 seconds in, 90 to go, and then we're halfway already. Okay, nice and relaxed. Driving those knees, good leg lift, just powering on through. Stuff, guys. They're approaching the halfway point. Here we are then. First 3 minute technique down, also halfway through the interval, just 3 minutes of strong work left, and then we are done. Shoulders down, chin up. Caught myself again. Hands. Last 2 minutes. Nearly there. "90 seconds into the last little nudge. Keeping it calm, not doing anything nuts, not kicking, keeping it steady all the way." Okay then, last minute. Final reminder. Chin up, shoulders down, hands loose, knees straight. Finish off. Last 30. Ten. Yeah. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Back down. Still walking pace. Well done, guys. That's your conditioning set done. So just remember what we talked about in terms of mixing up the surfaces that you're running on. Asphalt, turf, treadmill, or whatever. You know, mix it up, guys, and make the effort to do so, because if you're only running on hard surfaces, particularly doing your high intensity work, hard surfaces, the injury risk is just exponentially higher. You know, not to kind of be hysterical about it, but yeah, I'm always getting our guys, particularly their speed work, doing that on the track, or if not on you know, a football pitch, something like that, something that's just going to take some of the sting out. You know, like I was saying earlier, you do want some impact on hard surface, but it shouldn't be every single session. You should be, and you know, you can mix it up depending on how you're feeling. So if you're feeling stiff from a strength session or a bike workout or something, and then you got, you know, hard work run session the next day, you're still feeling a bit achy, make sure you do it on softer ground so that you're not compounding that achiness, that stiffness. You're just kind of giving yourself a bit of a relief. And with that changing of surfaces, just remember, you are going to have to kind of be smart about how you structure your session. You know, you might be able to run a certain pace on road, and then when you go off road, you know, that pace is going to come down, and it's okay. You just switch between, you know, in these set sessions we're always talking about perceived exertion and heart rate, etc. You know, switch between pacing targets, switch between heart rate and perceived exertion. Those three key metrics, you should be able to interchange between the two, and particularly when you're moving onto different surfaces, don't be draconian about it. Just because you got an 8-minute set at 4 minutes per k, you know, you might be able to do that on a road, on perfectly flat asphalt, but you know, you're probably not going to be able to replicate that on a running around a football pitch, for example. Okay, you just got to be smart about it, and not too arbitrary in terms of transferring between surfaces. All right, so we'll just come to a stop now. That's your session. Make sure you stretch, get your high protein meal on. But otherwise, you know, pat yourself on the back. Session well done, and we'll see you next time. Well done, guys.